Have you ever looked in the mirror and quietly asked yourself, is this all there is now? No more passion, no more touch, no more feeling truly seen, just long nights, quiet mornings, and a body that seems to forget how to feel alive. You're not alone. After 60, society has a way of turning the volume down on your desires, your needs, and even your right to feel wanted. They tell you sex is over, that intimacy is for the young. That age means giving up. But what if I told you that's the biggest lie you've ever been told? I've spent years speaking to older adults, and I've seen something heartbreaking. When intimacy disappears, something inside starts to wither. Not just the body, but the soul. Your heart starts to race over simple stares. Your sleep becomes shallow, your memory falters, your partner feels more like a roommate, and worst of all, you begin to believe you're no longer lovable. But here's the truth. Sex in later life isn't a luxury, it's a lifeline, and reclaiming it could mean the difference between fading and thriving. In today's video, I'll show you what really happens when physical intimacy disappears and how to bring it back, gently, honestly, and beautifully, no matter your age, no matter how long it's been, because you're still here, and you still deserve to feel alive in every way that matters. Helen was 69 when she stopped sleeping in the same bed as her husband. At first, it was just because of his snoring. Then because of back pain. Then no real reason at all. They still lived together, still ate dinner at the same table, but something had changed. Something sacred had gone silent. It had been 4 years since they last made love. Not because of anger, not even sadness, but because somewhere between the doctor appointments, the aches, and the fear of aging, they had both quietly decided that intimacy no longer belonged to them. Helen said, "I used to be touched. I used to feel beautiful. Now I feel like a shadow in my own home." She tried to brush it off, told herself she was too old to care. But the truth? She missed the feeling of skin, of laughter under the sheets, of being wanted, and more than anything, she missed herself. One day, while folding laundry, her husband reached for her hand, something he hadn't done in years. It startled her. She looked up and saw tears in his eyes. "I miss us," he whispered. They didn't talk much after that. But that night they lay down in the same bed, not to make love, just to lie close. It wasn't perfect. It didn't fix everything, but it was a beginning. A week later, they took a walk holding hands. A month later, they kissed without hesitation. 3 months later, Helen looked in the mirror and smiled. "I'm still here," she whispered. "I still feel, I still want, I still deserve." This is not a fairy tale. This is real life. And it began not with passion, but with permission. Permission to return, to reconnect, to feel again, slowly, gently, honestly. Because the truth is, intimacy doesn't disappear with age. It simply waits for you to come back to it. Helen's story isn't unique. In fact, it's more common than most people want to admit. The loss of physical intimacy after 60 isn't just about fewer kisses or holding hands. It quietly reshapes your health, physically, emotionally, mentally. Let's walk through what really happens when connection fades and how it affects every part of you. 1. Your heart weakens, just like skipping exercise. You may not realize it, but sex is a form of gentle cardio. It increases blood flow, lowers blood pressure, and keeps your arteries elastic. When intimacy disappears, so does one of your heart's most natural protectors. Over time, seniors who are no longer sexually active experience more heart issues, not because of age alone, but because the body is missing that subtle, consistent workout. It's like quitting your daily walk and wondering why the stairs feel harder. Worse, the emotional closeness that comes from intimacy also reduces cortisol, the stress hormone that's harmful to your heart. So without touch, both the physical and emotional heart suffer. 2. Muscles shrink, joints stiffen, mobility fades. Sex isn't about performance, it's about movement. Every embrace, every shift in position engages core muscles, hips, legs, and back. This kind of movement promotes flexibility and balance, two of the most critical things to maintain as we age. When touch disappears, the body becomes more sedentary. Muscles lose tone, joints grow stiff, coordination weakens. Many seniors don't even notice at first, but 6 months later, they're stumbling more. A year later, they need help out of a chair. Movement doesn't always begin in the gym. Sometimes it begins in the bedroom. 3. Your memory fades faster. Sex doesn't just affect the body, it stimulates the brain. During intimacy, your brain releases dopamine, oxytocin, and endorphins, feel-good chemicals that improve mood and enhance memory. These hormones help build and maintain neural pathways, keeping your mind sharp and responsive. When intimacy disappears, these brain-boosting chemicals fade too. You may start to forget names, misplace things, or feel foggy. Over time, the brain becomes less stimulated and more vulnerable to cognitive decline. Just like your muscles, your brain needs activity, and intimacy is one of the most enjoyable workouts it knows. 4. You feel less seen and slowly less human. There's a difference between being alone and feeling invisible. When you're no longer touched, held, or kissed, something shifts inside. It's not just about the physical act, it's about the affirmation. I still matter. I still belong. Couples who lose intimacy often become roommates. Conversations turn to logistics. Eye contact disappears. Affection becomes awkward. Even if you sleep in the same bed, the silence can grow loud. And over time, you start to believe that you are no longer worthy of desire or even love. That belief? It's more dangerous than any diagnosis. 5. Your sleep gets worse and your body forgets how to rest. After orgasm, the body naturally releases prolactin and oxytocin, hormones that reduce anxiety and promote deep, healing sleep. Without intimacy, the body stays alert. It's harder to fall asleep, you wake more often, and mornings feel heavy, not refreshed. Many seniors turn to medication, sleeping pills, antidepressants, never realizing that nature already gave them a gentle, beautiful solution: connection. When you sleep beside someone who loves you and you feel safe, your entire nervous system calms. That's not magic, that's biology. 6. Your immune system weakens. It sounds unbelievable, but it's true. Studies show that regular sexual activity boosts levels of immunoglobulin A, an antibody that defends against colds, infections, and more. Plus, the hormonal balance that comes from intimacy reduces inflammation and promotes healthy cell function. Without it, your body fights harder and loses more often. If you've been getting sick more often or taking longer to recover, the missing piece might not be a vitamin, it might be a lack of touch. 7. You stop recognizing yourself. This may be the most painful of all. When intimacy fades, your identity changes. You may stop wearing the clothes you love, avoid mirrors, lose interest in affection altogether, and slowly you convince yourself that your best years are gone. But the truth is, that version of you still exists. It's just waiting to be woken up with one touch, one look, one moment of permission. Each of these effects may seem small, a restless night here, a stiff morning there, but together they add up to something much bigger, the slow fading of your vitality. The good news, it's not permanent, because just as intimacy can fade, it can also return. And in the next part of this video, we'll explore how to begin that journey, not with pressure, not with perfection, but with small, beautiful steps that bring you back to life. Each of the changes we just talked about, the racing heart, the aching joints, the forgetful mind, they're real, but none of them hurt as deeply as this: feeling invisible in the eyes of someone who used to look at you with love. One woman once said, "I've been married for 27 years, but the last 5 felt like I was sharing a house with a polite stranger. No arguments, no drama, just quiet dinner. Separate bedtimes, fewer and fewer reasons to touch or talk." It's easy to assume this is just what aging looks like. that passion has an expiration date. But here's the truth. Emotional distance doesn't begin in the heart. It begins when we stop touching. That distance grows silently, day by day, year by year, until one day you realize you haven't felt truly wanted in a very long time. And when you stop being desired, you stop desiring. Not just physically, but emotionally, spiritually. That's the quiet crisis no one talks about. The one that doesn't show up in blood tests or doctor charts. But it shows up in your eyes, in your silence, in the way your body curls away instead of reaching out. But this isn't where the story has to end, because even the smallest moment of reconnection, a hand on your back, a shared laugh, an honest conversation, can begin to melt that distance. And in the next section, we'll talk about how to rebuild that bridge, gently, naturally, one moment at a time. So what happens now? You've realized the cost of disconnection. You've felt the silence in your home, the ache in your chest, the numbness in your reflection. But how do you start again, especially after so much time, so much distance? You don't need a miracle. You don't need to force passion or chase perfection. What you need is permission. Permission to begin again, slowly. Here are 5 powerful yet gentle steps that can help you rebuild intimacy and reconnect, both with your partner and with yourself. Step 1. Speak honestly, even if your voice shakes. The first step is not physical, it's emotional. Talk to your partner, not about what's missing, but about what you miss. Tell them how you've been feeling, lonely, uncertain, invisible. Then ask them, how have you been feeling? You might be surprised. Many couples silently suffer the same sadness, but never say a word. And no, it doesn't have to be a perfect conversation. Just one moment of honesty can open a door that's been locked for years. Step 2. Touch without expectation. Before sex, before passion, there is touch. Start small. A hand on the shoulder, a longer hug, sitting closer on the couch. These gestures aren't just physical. They're deeply emotional. Touch says, I see you. I still want to feel close. And remember, touch doesn't need to lead anywhere. Let it be about connection, not performance. When pressure disappears, warmth returns. Step 3. Address physical challenges without shame. Let's be real, aging changes our bodies, but that doesn't mean intimacy is over. It simply means we adapt. If you're experiencing dryness, discomfort, low libido, or erectile difficulties, speak to a doctor. There are natural, safe, and effective options available. Lubricants, hormone support, gentle exercises, even certain foods. Don't let embarrassment steal your joy. Your body is not broken, it's just waiting for care, attention, and a little support. Step 4. Create space for intimacy, physically and emotionally. Too often, life takes over. Caregiving, bills, fatigue, intimacy gets pushed aside like an old photograph. It's time to bring it back into the light. Set aside time each week that's just for connection, not chores or TV. Light a candle. Put on soft music, maybe even dance together in the living room. Let this space be sacred, not because it's serious, but because it's yours. Step 5. Reconnect with yourself, your own body, your own needs. If you're single or your partner is unwilling or unable to engage, your intimacy journey is still valid. This is not about someone else, it's about you. Take time to explore what feels good again. Massage your own hands, your skin. Breathe deeply, move slowly, practice mindfulness, take a warm bath, sleep in soft sheets. Reclaim your relationship with your body, not as an object, but as a source of feeling, warmth, and joy. Your body still remembers what it means to feel alive. You just have to invite it back. You're not going back in time, you're moving forward into a version of intimacy that's softer, wiser, more connected. No matter your age, no matter how long it's been, you can still choose closeness, still choose touch, still choose joy. And often, all it takes is one small moment of courage. In the next part of our journey, I'll share with you a real-life story of transformation. A woman who rediscovered joy and intimacy years after giving up on both. Because this isn't theory. This is real. And it's possible for you too. There's a woman I once met named Evelyn. She was 68 when we spoke, a retired teacher, widowed for nearly 3 years, and in her own words, "I thought the part of me that felt beautiful had died with him." She had stopped wearing color, stopped going out, stopped laughing. When her husband passed, she didn't just lose a partner. She lost touch, intimacy, that quiet knowing that someone in the world saw her and cherished her. She told me, "No one had touched my face in over 900 days, not even by accident." At first, she tried to accept it. Maybe that chapter's closed, she thought. But something inside her wouldn't stay silent. There was still a spark, buried, dim, but not gone. It started with something simple, a painting class. She'd always loved colors, but hadn't picked up a brush in decades. One day, she painted a figure, soft curves, warm tones, a woman sitting alone, smiling. The instructor walked by and said, "She looks like you." That moment changed everything. Evelyn started showing up differently. She wore perfume again, let her hair down, bought new sheets. She began doing small things that made her body feel good. Long showers, silk pajamas, even moisturizing her hands slowly, like a ritual. Then one evening, while watching a film with a friend, another widower, she laughed. Not a polite laugh, a deep, full belly laugh that surprised even her. And in that laughter, something woke up. Not long after, they began spending more time together. Not romantically, not yet, but close enough to feel warmth, to feel like she was alive again. She said to me, "I didn't need to fall in love, I needed to fall back into myself." Evelyn's story isn't about romance. It's about reconnection, about realizing that intimacy isn't something someone else gives you, it's something you awaken inside yourself first. In the next section, we'll talk about the truth behind aging and intimacy, and why your desire doesn't disappear with time, it just waits for permission to return. Because your story, like Evelyn's, still has beautiful chapters left to write. Evelyn's story reminds us of something most people forget. Aging doesn't mean you've lost your right to be touched, desired, or cherished. It doesn't mean you've stopped being beautiful. It only means the world stopped reminding you. But now, let this video remind you. Let it remind you that intimacy is not just about sex. It's about connection. It's about being seen. It's about feeling alive in your own skin. No matter how many birthdays you've had, you may have been told that the best parts of your life are behind you, that your body no longer matters, that your longings are outdated. But those are lies, and you don't have to carry them anymore. You are not invisible. You are not done. You are still here. And there is still so much of you left to give and to feel and to love. Intimacy is not a chapter that closes. It's a rhythm that changes, softer, slower, deeper, and maybe more meaningful than ever before. So if you've been waiting for a sign to begin again, this is it. Right now, this breath, this heartbeat, this moment. You still have time. You still have desire. You still have the power to choose closeness, tenderness, laughter, and joy. Not because you're trying to relive the past, but because you're ready to reclaim your present. If any part of this message touched your heart, I want to invite you to do something simple but powerful. Take a breath and ask yourself, when was the last time I truly felt seen, touched, loved? If your answer brings tears or silence, that's okay, because this is your moment to begin again. In the comments, I'd love for you to share one thing you want to reclaim, whether it's connection, confidence, or just the feeling of being alive. If you're ready to rediscover intimacy on your own terms, write, "I still deserve love." And if this video spoke to you, Don't keep it to yourself. Send it to someone who needs this reminder too. Because this isn't just a video. It's the start of your healing, and we'll be walking this journey together.